You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button.
We had a great week of practice, Chris. It was the first time in my career we didn't put on pads the whole week. Our guys are fresh. They're ready to go. I thought it was the last week. I'll give them a break from the hitting and do our hitting on Saturday night.
The last great week of practice of Ed Orgeron's tenure at LSU. I'm going to be very interested legitimately in one thing on Saturday surrounding this game. And it is, what is the emotion of this game going to be? This isn't the first time LSU has gone through something like this before. In 2015, of course, everyone assumed that was the end for Les Miles, and it was a very emotional scene around that game. And I was in the stadium, and it was a fever pitch. It was palpable, the energy, feeling like that was it for Les after more than a decade and having won a title and played for another. And despite his shortcomings, he was still beloved. It was frustrating at the end, but he was still beloved. And the energy in the building that night, in many respects, when LSU had a 3-game losing streak, it focused that team, and they were better than the way they finished that year. And they beat a good A&M team that night. And I'm curious if it's anything comparable. I don't think it will be. Because the issue has been determined with respect to the head coach, I think because there isn't any ambiguity about whether it'll be his last game or not, like there was back in 2015, most people emotionally have moved on to who is the next coach going to be. That's where the emotion is. Not if LSU beats Texas A&M on Saturday. It's is it going to be Lincoln Riley? Can they push that across the finish line? Who's going to be the coach? That's where everybody's attention and energy is. There were maybe 40,000 people in Tiger Stadium last week. I get it. It was 8 o'clock against ULM. And you'll get a boost this week because A&M is going to bring a whole bunch of people, and it is A&M, and it is a conference game, and it's a lot of people might be in town for Thanksgiving and all that sort of stuff. It might more resemble that Arkansas crowd, but it's not going to be like it was in 2015. The sincere home field advantage, I don't know that LSU will have it on Saturday night against Texas A&M. And when you look up and down, the resume with these two teams, there isn't many spots where LSU has the advantage. It's the same things we talk about every week. Penalties, for example. LSU 7th in the country with the fewest penalties. A&M 81st. That's an advantage for LSU. But by and large, the advantages are the other way for Texas A&M. They're the team that comes into this game with the better defense. They allow 319 yards a game. LSU allows 60 more yards per game than A&M. A&M is pretty balanced offensively. 205 in the air, 194 on the ground. One of the best rushing teams in college football. LSU, a complete imbalance, even though it's become a little more normalized because of the success Ty Davis Price has had of late. 260 through the air, 109 on the ground. We talked to David Nuno of Tex Ags, and he told us, look, when A&M has been vulnerable defensively, it's been a couple of things. It's been mobile quarterbacks. LSU doesn't have that. They don't run Max Johnson. And it's been hitting deep shots over the top. When LSU has made big plays in the passing game, it hasn't been deep shots over the top. It's been like the play Malik Neighbors made on Saturday against ULM. They hit that cross around midfield. He caught it, and boom, he was off to the races. That's very different than what A&M has given up at times this year. A&M's defense is really good, y'all. That defensive front seven, we knew it from the beginning of this year with guys like DeMarvin Leal, who's a first-round draft pick. That's a run-stuffing front. And if LSU tries to line up honestly and run the football, I don't see them having success. And if you need to hold up a pass rush, and Elko's such a good defensive coordinator, I don't see LSU protecting Max Johnson. The flip side of it is LSU's defense over the last month has played much better football. And I do think LSU's defense is going to keep them in this ballgame. I think LSU's defense has been good enough to be competitive. They were competitive with Alabama. I mean, they should have beaten Arkansas. They're going to be competitive in this game. And if it comes down to a kick, I love Cade York. He's obviously the guy. But what it's going to take for LSU is Zach Calzada giving the ball away. LSU's going to have to force a couple of turnovers, steal some possessions if they're going to have a chance to win this game. in the end, I think A&M's the better team, and I think they are going to win the game. I think A&M wins it something like 28-17. I just don't trust LSU to get enough offense going in this game. But they do. They'll punch their ticket to a bowl game. We'll see if they can do it Saturday night. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.